Welcome, episode 19 of the Brown Bostonian Show. I'm your host, Kevin Parrington Turner. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been on this. I know. I'm working on the consistency of doing the show. Gonna make it better. Gonna make it more efficient. Promise on that. It's been a lot of sports happening over time since last episode, and I'm gonna get into it. It's been a great time for me. Uh, but we're gonna just start with Colorado last night. I got a chance to watch it. I was off from my job from at the APP. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you also check out the brownbostonian.com. But I got a chance to watch Colorado and North Dakota State, the first game of the season opener. It was at home in Colorado. North Dakota State, a FCS powerhouse. So by no means did I think it was going to be easy, and it by no means was it. The game started out very tough. You know, North Dakota State got the ball first. They drove down the field with a big play that got them into red zone territory. Colorado made a stop. They forced a field goal. Colorado came down. They scored. Shador Sanders played well. Uh, but North Dakota State, they was just scoring every time they got the ball. They couldn't be stopped, mostly because of the pig plays they ran. A lot of bunches. They didn't really throw the ball outside the numbers or throw it down the field too much. They kept it safe. They didn't have any turnovers on offense either. No offensive blunders, really. And they played really well. They did what they wanted to do. They executed very well, and that's the reason why they're a FCS power school. I know a lot of people are going to kill Colorado for having troubles against a FCS and barely winning, which they won 31-26. But nonetheless, I still think it's an impressive win. Uh, out the second half, I expected the second half to be a little bit different, which it was. I expected Colorado to make the defensive adjustments in the second half, and they did, and it worked. You know, Shiloh Sanders, he played well. Travis Hunter played well on both ends of both sides of the field, which, both sides of the ball, which I think that's the story this morning. If you go on all these other sports shows, they're going to mention that. They're going to mention Travis Hunter the most because he finished with 3 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 132 yards. He had some big tackles as well on the defensive side of the ball. He was just amazing. Um, Nonetheless, man, second half, Colorado's defense stepped up. Their front line stepped up. Warren Sapp on that coaching staff, he must have got into his players saying we got to get to the quarterback, and they did. They got their first sack in the third quarter. They only allowed 6 points. They only allowed 6 points in the fourth quarter. In the second half, which came in the fourth quarter, when they allowed a touchdown. Just over 2 minutes left in the game. But their defense did step up in a way. In the first half, they allowed 20 points. So they did what they had to do. They did what they had to do. Shador Sanders played amazing. He played well. He finished 26 of 34 attempts, 445 yards, 4 TDs, 1 interception. That interception in the red zone, in the end zone was it was, I don't want to say luck per se, but it definitely, is one of those, oh my goodness. I mean, that's the only time you're really gonna see an interception from Shador Sanders is it's usually either the wide receiver's fault or it's just some, bobble, some deflection that ends up in the defender's hands. But he played very well, very poised. There was some times where he let the play clock go down, and then Deion Sanders, his father, had to call a timeout. He was screaming at him, but he made some great plays. The one thing that pissed me off was towards the end of the game, North Dakota State drove down the field. Cam Miller, the quarterback, ran it in. Now it's a 1 possession game, 5-point game. Cool. Now Colorado just needs a first down. They got the ball back with a little bit over 2 minutes left. North Dakota State had 2 timeouts, so they really had 3 timeouts. They just needed a first down. Third down, Shador Sanders out of shotgun. Every play was out of shotgun for Colorado. Every single play was out shotgun. But he scrambled around, took some time off the clock, threw it down the field. Forgive me for forgetting the wide receiver he threw it to. It wasn't Hunter. It wasn't Jimmy Horn. But then a defensive pass interference, and they got the first down. That should be game. However, first down, Shador Sanders throws the ball down the field, and it's an incompletion. And you can see the frustration on Deion Sanders' face on the sideline because you kneel it, the game's over. Instead, They go 3 and out. They have to punt the ball. Uh, and North Dakota State gets the ball with a little bit over 30 seconds left. They drive it down the field a little bit, and they have to do a last minute heave, which wide receiver catches it in the red zone, but they tackle him. Game over. Should Jimmy Horn had a great game, 198 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. He dropped 2 passes in that second half that I think were pretty big. They ended up scoring on those possessions, so you know, it gets wiped away. Travis Hunter, 7 receptions, 132 yards, 3 TDs. He's gonna be the story because nearly every touchdown he scored last night was a highlight play. He's special. He's a special talent. I think Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter are gonna be top picks, and now Travis Hunter is gonna be the talk of possibly getting the Heisman because he's made some he made tackles, catches, first down catches for first down conversions. He did everything that was needed of him. Now, as far as Colorado, I'm not gonna say it was a disappointing performance. I don't think it was. I think it was pretty impressive. North Dakota State is always gonna be a good FCS school, which is still Division 1. They're still gonna win a bunch of games. You could see why they probably belong in one of these conferences. And Colorado made the adjustments. Their offense is probably going to be one of the best in college football. The defense, I don't know. Their offensive line did better than last year. Shador Sanders still got pressured, which is expected. He still got knocked down. Not as much sacks. But as far as the run blocking, it wasn't good. And that's why the offensive line, it was an upgrade, but it wasn't much of an upgrade from what I can see from week 1. It's still week 1, so I'm not gonna just jump the gun and say they didn't make any adjustments or got any better because they did. They got their left tackle coming out of high school, one of the best prospects, and they got him for left tackle, and he played well. He played well. The freshman, forgive me for forgetting his name, but he played very well on that line. It's just the run blocking, they didn't really do too well. They couldn't get a run game going. However, at the same time, Colorado carved them up through the air. So if that's what the North Dakota defense was giving them, they took it. So maybe next week against Nebraska, which is going to be on the road, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be an interesting game. We're going to have to see, you know. But nonetheless, I think we learned a lot, but we didn't learn a lot from Colorado. We learned that Shador and Travis and Jimmy Horn, the top returners that we knew who them to be, they did what they are, who they are. They played big. They played really good. The offense played really well. Shiloh Sanders, even though he had a late hit, that eventually it was still a field goal, but he made some big tackles in that secondary, and especially in the first half when North Dakota State was getting to that third level, the last level. He made some big tackles that stopped it from being a touchdown. I think even he played well. I think the top players played well, but Colorado played like a team full of transfers. And that's what happens on those pick plays, those screen plays, when not a lot of communication is going on. That's what happens. So many times on the defensive end, I saw Travis Hunter point to a guy, say, "Yo, we have a receiver over here that's uncovered before the snap." He's waving. You can see a bunch of plays of him waving over a defensive back, waving over a teammate to say, "We got to be here." And it looked like a team full of transfers that they didn't know each other as much. It's easy to talk to each other during practice, but when the crowd's going wild, you don't have as much time on that play clock. The team's about to snap it. It's a different beast. But they figured it out. But that's what I learned from Colorado. They look like a team full of transfers. I think if they didn't have as much transfers, as much new guys, I think you would have saw a different team. Now, the guys that stayed on last year, like the Travis Hunters, like Shador Sanders, like Jimmy Horn Jr., like Shiloh Sanders, like Charlie Woods on defense, they played well. The returners played well. As far as the new guys, they played well, but they had some blunders, and that's which is expected, especially week 1. So I think Colorado's it's a good step because you got the win. I know Coach Prime can't be happy about the win, but they got the win, and they start the season 1-0. and I think they have the potential to get better. I think they get better, they could beat a good amount of teams. I think they end up with a winning season. So that's that. I think next we're gonna stay because I'm in New Jersey. We're gonna go to Rutgers. They was the first team to play last night and kick it off. They defeated Howard, famous HBCU. Know a couple of friends that graduated from there. They won 44-7. Rutgers in Piscataway, New Jersey. I've been over there for a game, for a high school game last season. They won 44-7. It was a blowout. Eighth in the quarterback finished 15-24, 147 yards with 3 TDs. Kyle Kaninga, 19 carries, 165 yards, 1 TD. Demir Miller, 4 receptions, 37 yards, 1 TD. They'll face Akron next week. They played well. I was able to watch a little bit of the game until the Colorado game turned on. The defense played well. The running game was really solid. And this looks like a year that they had a lot of hype behind them going into the season. The coach, former Tampa Bay head coach. So they got some good returners. And I think it'll be interesting to see what they do next week against Akron. I think they got a chance to win it, and they got a chance to go off 2-0 and really kind of put some pressure before they get into conference play. That was quick. Next, we gotta go to the NFL. I'm a Patriots guy, and Jacoby Brissett got the starting job. It was named yesterday by head coach Gerard Mayo in his first season. He said Jacoby Brissett got the starting job over Drake May. Bailey Zappi, he's out, reportedly released. Didn't make the final cut. Joe Milton's on the third string. So Jacoby Brissett as the first starting quarterback. What does that mean? Well, I mentioned it in my blog. Like I said, go to thebrownbostonian.com on my website. I think it's a good move for Jacoby Brissett to get the starting job. At first, I didn't. It's so easy to get caught up on the rookie, the guy that just got drafted, highly anticipated for him to get in the field. But in reality, Jacoby Brissett has been in the playoffs. He's played in different teams. He played in New England before, second string. When a guy was injured, he started before in New England. He went to the Colts. He played. He's been around the league. He's still effective. And we got to be honest, the Patriots, I don't expect them to make any Super Bowl run this season. That's not to say they shouldn't be competitive. They're not going to win games. I do think they're going to win games. But this move of putting Jacoby Brissett in the starting position is more so a chess move for the future, so that Drake May can learn in this as second string. It's easy to say, well, the only way you can learn is putting him in the game and starting. Maybe on some occasions, some teams, but what we saw with Mac Jones. Look at Mac Jones, rookie season, great defense from the Patriots, okay running game, good enough running game, where it was effective, and then some play actions, kept it simple, and then Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler. Mac Jones, he went to the playoffs with the Patriots first season. After that, it was clipped. Things went awry. Not to Mac Jones's fault that the Patriots season after his rookie season went to blunder. It was most of the coaching staff, no help around him, no offensive line, no weapons. The defense was okay, but they can only do so much. They put too much emphasis on the special teams. And now, since we got a Pro Bowler quarterback, that just brought us to the playoffs. His first year. Okay, well, we're going to put some emphasis on the defense. We're going to put the ball in his hands a little bit more and see what he can do. But since it was his rookie season, he kind of got a little bit carried, and he probably didn't have a chance to learn. And then when you start losing games in New England, it gets rough. As a Boston fan, I know that for a fact. It gets rough. We're rough. We're rough on the players when they start losing games. If the Celtics didn't win a championship this year, I don't know what would happen. They would have separated everybody, but they did. But that's just to let you know what type of place New England is, Massachusetts is, because they play in Foxborough. So I'm gonna just basically say Boston. It's rough. So I think Jacoby Brissett being the guy that no one's really expecting him to be the superstar, but we expect him to win some games, not make too much mistakes. He's a veteran. Put Drake May in the second string. Maybe he plays midseason. Maybe he comes in during some blowouts, whether on the good end of the blowout or the bad end of the blowout. Maybe he comes in, he plays, he gets some snaps, and then that's how you develop them. I think when you think of Tom Brady, you think of Patrick Mahomes, those guys, they didn't start their first season. Patrick Mahomes was behind Alex Smith. Tom Brady was behind Drew Bledsoe. And then because of losing or because of injuries, that's when those guys got their chance and they made the most of it. It's the same thing with Jimmy G, I believe. Could be wrong. Yes, Jimmy G. I think so. When Tom Brady got suspended. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong, he brought his team to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, you know? I think that's just what happens nowadays. I think we get too hype on the rookies. We want them to start and be superstars. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre. I'm not saying Drake May is that or will be one of those guys, but I think spending a year in the second string, I think that helps a lot. I think it does. Week after week, you see what happens if you lose a game, how that quarterback's supposed to handle it. I think you see what happens when, a guy drops a ball, you go 3 and out, and you run back to the sidelines, what the coaches are telling you, what they see, what the quarterback saw, what the quarterback's asking you as a second string, what happened there? Like, what do you think about, you know, should happen? And you give your opinion, and he might be giving pointers, especially to be behind a veteran. It makes all the world of difference. I think we got too high on Joe Milton, by the way, including myself. Towards the end of the preseason, Joe Milton kind of showed that not one trick pony, but he's more athletic than he is a little bit with the skill of his arm. He can throw the ball hard, fast, uh, far, but not accurate. And we need accuracy in the NFL. You need that. It's more than just throwing the ball, throwing a bullet to someone's chest, throwing someone's hands, and they can't catch it. What's the good of it? You know. And these defensive ends, these defensive tackles getting faster, so scrambling, they're evolving just as well as the quarterback nowadays. So I think starting Jacoby Brissett's a good idea. We're gonna see with that. We're gonna see what happens week 1. I'm gonna save my predictions for the next episode, which there will be a next episode. I hope, and I think the Patriots will be. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be all right. I feel confident week 1. Their defense is looking well. The defense is looking like the best part of the team, as it's been for a couple of years since the Brady's departure. So that's all I got on the Patriots. I'm gonna get do a deeper dive into next episode, but that's what I got so far. We're gonna switch over to battle rap. King of the Dot this past weekend. Massacre 6 in Massachusetts. I'm mad I wasn't on the card. That's on me. I wasn't on the card. It was a 2-day event. Tay Rock versus Big K, Clips, Charlie Clips, New Jersey Twerk, Chilla Jones, just stars, man. I'm gonna kick myself over that one for not being on the card. Just taking a break right now, but nonetheless, shout out to Takeover Battle League. Shout out to King of the Dot for making it happen in Lawrence, Massachusetts. You don't see too many big battle rap events over there. Nonetheless, I didn't watch every battle. I'm just keeping 100. But I did get to see some, and I'm just let y'all know what I thought. Tay Rock versus Big K, great battle. Tay Rock won, but he went very long. Not saying because you rap longer that you're gonna win automatically. It was a really good battle. I think Big K earned many more people's respect if he didn't already have it. Battle Murder Mook. I'm still mad how he did Conceited years ago. Yes, I'm still mad about that. He did him dirty. That's one of my favorite battle rappers of all time, and he did him dirty. But Tay Rock, I had Tay Rock winning that 2-1 clear. Charlie Clips versus Real Sick. Clips was playing around. I don't know what happened. Real Sick got him out of here. Twerk versus Pass. Oh my goodness. 3-0 Twerk. He's a star. Chilla Jones versus T-Rex. As much as I love South to Boston, I love Chilla, but I think Rex was a little bit more entertaining. which is expected. Chilla Jones was more lyrical. If you're looking lyrically, Chilla won. Rex, it was Rex. Excel, shout out to Brockton versus Chef Trez. I don't really have a winner in this. I don't. It was just a dope battle. Elijah Straight, shout out to Elijah Straight. Go check that out on URL app or YouTube. Me and him battled in Rhode Island. He's from Providence. He's from New England. So I got to give that a shout out versus Danny Myers. I heard good things about that battle. I heard some people say Danny might have won. I heard some people said Elijah Straight might have won. Either way, I'm just very proud of that battle. Proud of what he's been able to do from New England and get on these big cards and big leagues. So I just had to shout him out, even though I didn't see that one. 40 bars for Sharon, another one I didn't see. I heard 40 bars didn't do good, but I just do want to shout out another female from Boston. She's from Mattapan. I'm from Mattapan. Shout out to 40. So anytime I get a chance to shout out 40, I'm gonna shout out 40. She from the pen. Chirac versus Yoshi. I saw that. Chirac did Yoshi bad. Shout out Chirac. I believe she's from Springfield. Don't get me lying, but she's from Mass though. She's from New England. Big shout out to Chirac. She's a star. Star. If I'm forgetting anybody else, I probably just didn't see or didn't hear from it. When I asked people what they thought about the event, but I just wanted to shout out King of the Dot. I'm gonna try to get more active into the battle rap community as I've been taking a break, just trying to work on, the blog, work on doing on camera stuff at the APP, writing at the APP, more sports stuff, and just writing stories, jokes, taking classes, all that good stuff. But I'm trying to get more into the more active for y'all, and I will. Nonetheless, man, that's another episode 19 of the Brown Bostonian Show. Once again, I am your host, Kevin Parrington Turner, aka Sir South, aka whatever you want to call it. Tune in next week, man. The football season is about to start, which means then the basketball season starts. College football, college basketball, pros, Celtics. We're going to talk about around the league, boxing. A lot is going to happen. I'm going to just speak about it, battle rap, all that. I'm going to be more active, keep dropping things. Keep a lookout for the brownbostonian.com for blogs. Keep a lookout for the APP. Keep a lookout for music. Keep a lookout for everything. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, Sir_South, all that. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all. Peace.